Hello and welcome back to Second Take Movies, the podcast where we give movies a second look, second chance, a second take, if you will. I'm your host, Preston Jenkinson, and joining me to talk about the movie Face Off is Jake Twito.
Face Off.
That is every bit the manic, crazy state that Nick Cage was in during this movie.
Look, I just want to go ahead and plug something real quick. Here's what we need to do in real life. We should definitely go to New Orleans, pay the money to visit Nick Cage's gravesite. It's a pyramid.
That's right. He did purchase a pyramid. I remember
you
that.
Have to pay to go look at it. I'm going to do it.
You should do it.
Yeah, that'd be the dream.
But we'll start off with the plot for this movie. To foil a terrorist plot in FBI.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I just thought about, like, I'm excited to hear what you're about to say because holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To foil a plot, an FBI agent undergoes a facial transplant surgery to assume the identity of a criminal mastermind who murdered his only son, but the criminal wakes up prematurely and seeks revenge. And that is as wild as this movie is.
It's like a movie of lore. I mean, Nick Cage, anything.
Yeah.
It's you know what you're getting into.
Pretty much.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say John Travolta might be crazier than Nick Cage, but him playing Nick Cage.
We also like to do a positive and a negative review. The positive from Peter Travers at Rolling Stone says, exciting and then some. Face Off blends the director's supercharged images of balletic brutality and spiritual catharsis with an off-the-wall humor that allows John Travolta and Nicolas Cage to really let it rip.
Fair enough. Yeah, they definitely rip something. I mean.
And the negative review from LA Weekly, Ella Taylor says, yet the movie, distilling into purest form the blend of viciousness and sentimentality that informs all Wu's work, winds up emotionally bogus as it is viscerally overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a positive thing, though. I'm going to go positive. Yeah. I mean, this is the hammiest movie in the world. This is a big old ham sandwich.
Yeah.
It is the worst actors in the world, or weirdest actors. The movie's kind of dumb, but it's such a good, smooth dumb.
It's, I don't know if you've ever seen the show Community, but...
Oh, God, yeah.
You know that episode where Abed takes a class on, is Nick Cage a good actor?
Yeah.
It just depends.
Look, I'm going to go ahead and say I think he's a fantastic actor. I think he's insane.
Yeah.
I think that he does what he does. His new movie coming out where he stars himself, like, I'm looking forward to that, especially after watching this and a reminder of the craziness. But you know what? This movie wasn't going to be Nick Cage. It was going to be Sylvester Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
It would have never worked.
No, it'd have been awful.
It'd have been terrible.
That'd have been the worst movie in the world.
The first note that I have is a question. Nick Cage gropes a choir girl and a flight attendant is sucking his tongue. What is this movie?
Dude, that butt slap he does, or the grab, and it happens like throughout the movie.
Every woman is just okay with this dude just touching them.
Look, hot take. I don't think he's an ugly guy, right? The haircut, his hair, awful.
Even as John Travolta, they're like, oh wow, like.
Yeah, I don't get that part. I had a note of like there are so many butt grabs that don't go like slapped or anything else. But what an opening. I'm gonna grab this nun's butt, man. Like, all right.
Well, it was a choir girl. It wasn't even an adult.
Well, I mean, like, apparently that character has a thing for younger girls. Later in the movie, he's hitting on.
I was deeply scared that he was gonna do something with the daughter throughout the whole movie. Popped
up. Oh man, I was holding
and I was
my
like,
breath.
please don't. Please don't. I know this dude is evil, but please don't.
Yeah. No, oh God. No, thank you.
But it starts with Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage, basically. I think the direction was Do what you want as a horny priest.
Let me ask you this. Do you think there was direction, or did they say, do what you think?
I think it was a lot of do what you think is best.
Yeah. Like, I remember hearing I don't think it's rumor. I think they proved it somewhere. Like, Nick Cage and John Travolta spent like 2 weeks hanging out before this filmed so they could understand each other.
I believe it. John Travolta has a great Nick Cage impression.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
John Travolta's a good actor.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, for what it is, it's what a weird. Again, sorry, I'm going to say this a million times. What a weird movie!
It is a weird movie,
surprisingly entertaining.
Yeah, but it starts out with that, and you know, we talk about he gropes the girl, and then he gets away on an airplane, and basically John Travolta has an obsession with what was his character's name? Castor
Troy.
Castor Troy, and John Travolta plays in the beginning of the movie. John Travolta is Sean Archer. Nicolas Cage is Castor Troy. At the very beginning of the movie, it starts with Castor Troy murdering John Travolta's son. And so John Travolta has an obsession from then on to catch this guy, because it cuts to like 6 years later, where all this stuff takes place at the LA Convention Center.
Yeah. This is the like weird Hollywood where like, no, this wouldn't have happened in real life. There's no way they'd let some agent stick on this stuff that obsessively. But I don't know. I guess what a setup of, yeah, you're going to be angry at this guy. He killed your son. So
it goes on to this huge action scene where Nick Cage is trying to get away in an airplane, and John Travolta is in a helicopter, and he shoots the engine, and it goes into a warehouse, and he basically takes out Nick Cage with a jet engine somehow.
That was the point where I said, is this a John Woo movie?
And it is.
And I had to look it up, and I went, oh, I was making a like joke. Like, yeah, it's John Woo. No, it legit
and
was.
And you definitely figure that out at the end with all the doves and the two pistols.
Yeah, the jumping. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I've never seen this until now. In the second that the jet engine taking him out happened, I knew immediately everything I've heard about this. Yeah, I'm in for it now. This is it. Yeah. And it gets wilder, though.
Was this your first time watching this movie?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Oh, me too. So I was like, that's why I was excited. I was like, I've
sent a million GIFs, I don't know the right way to say it, from this movie. I've heard enough, you know, I knew enough about it, but never watched it. So
Nicolas Cage's brother gets arrested.
Yeah, which, I mean,
Castor Troy's brother.
Good cleverness for them with trying to be really smart with Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Pollux and Castor.
I never pieced that together. So
yeah, I heard it and I went, I think this is what happens when you make me watch the Matrix movies. Now I'm just like, what part of Latin lore does this really stem from? But
not everything stems from that.
Nah. I'll hold my tongue. Let me ask you this. I had a note, and I don't know when this happens. Have we seen a face waterfall yet?
A face waterfall?
Yeah. So Sean Archer's thing with his family is doing this.
Oh, where he touches the face.
Yeah. I didn't coin that phrase, by the way, but that's the creepiest thing in this entire thing. The whole like giveaway of who he is the watching fingers down someone's face.
Yeah. That's a little weird. So after that, it gets all this kind of. I mean, we can skip through a bunch of plot. Like John Travolta's having trouble at home. Who cares? And
you know what? I don't even remember all that. When I'm skipping ahead, but like when Castor comes in as Sean Archer, and she's like, "I'm still so mad at you." I didn't even know they're talking about.
Yeah,
I was just like, "Oh, whatever." Okay, but huge weird plot dump.
The head of, I guess it's the head of the CIA.
Yeah, and that was my other confusion of like, what
is played by Alfred Woodard?
Not what department, but like how high? It's the head of the FBI.
Head of the FBI.
They office.
For some reason have this surgery where they can swap faces on people somehow.
Preston, that is the dumbest. One, they have this surgery, and you quickly find out very soon after, no one knows about it.
Right.
and no one else can do it. Like, it's the dumbest concept. This movie shouldn't have worked.
Which makes the ending even more dumb, but we'll get to that later. But it's like when they were writing this movie, they were like, they just started from the hero and the villain swap faces, and then they went from there.
Which, hilariously enough, I'm again from either listening to podcasts or just randomly looking at this. When the face swap happens, Nick Cage was terrified about seeing the makeup on his face, so they didn't allow any reflective surfaces in the shot because Nick Cage didn't want to see the makeup on his own face.
Like with the scene where he was skinless.
Yep. Yeah, he was like, the only reason I will do this is if I don't have to see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Nick Cage, wimp.
Yeah. Because I mean, I guess that's why you don't really see it, but like in a blurry reflection.
Yep, that's it. That's the only reason it's not on screen is he was like, I don't want to see it.
You get the gist of it, really.
Yeah. Which, before I say, like, this is the dumbest thing ever, that actual technology's happened now.
Oh,
somewhere in like the early 2010s, a guy got, I think, shot with a shotgun, and they replaced his face.
Wow.
So there's your nugget of unneeded trivia for the day.
So after, basically, they come to John Travolta and say, hey, we need to get the information of, because he's planted a bomb at the LA Convention Center Castor Troy has. So they come to Sean Archer, played by John Travolta, and say, we need you to get the location of this bomb, and we think his brother will tell him if we send him to prison with him.
Which, Preston, they know where the bomb location is. How can they not just scrub every surface and find it? Like,
well, they don't know where it is. Like at the beginning of the movie, they just don't.
Okay, I always thought, I'm probably misremembering because things go crazy after this. They were like, we know it's at the convention center.
No, they didn't know that until after he went to prison.
Never mind. So that makes more. Well, it doesn't make sense, but it makes more.
The only reason they caught up to him was he filed a flight plan and paid in cash at the airport. That's the only way they caught up with. They just knew he was in LA somewhere.
I started this off so strong, being like, this movie is actually pretty great. And the more we talk, I'm going, this movie is insane.
Yeah. We get the title of the movie, Face Off. They take the face off of Nicolas Cage and somehow put it on the bulkier body of John Travolta, and it's all the same.
Yeah. And I know they showed some weird, like, car.
And there's no scar. There's no scar at all.
That's where I was like, no scar. How they shape his height, even.
Right.
But, I mean, you know, whatever. I can go wrong with this. It's fun.
Is this movie set in the future?
I thought that the whole time, and it's not. I thought this was like I thought this was a 90s version of 2020. But no, it's present day for the time. So, like, late 90s.
Because the prison he goes to, everyone wears magnet boots.
Those freaking boots, man. The Super Mario Brothers boots.
Yeah.
They're legitimately from that movie.
It's like...
Yeah.
It's 97, but it's the future? I'm confused.
Preston, I don't know if you've ever been to prison, but they have magnet boots everywhere.
Luckily, I have not.
I haven't. So, from what I've heard, yeah, they got magnet boots.
But as you can guess from there, he figures out where the location is because the brother tells him after some prodding and whatnot, and then he apparently he sent it up to flag. He never sends out a communication, so I don't know how he thought he was getting out when Castor Troy shows up as his former self as John Travolta.
I think that's the dumbest. Like, they didn't include the prison on. We're pulling this scheme.
Yeah, like
they legitimately throw him in there. Like, what?
Don't even tell the prison guards. Like, there's only 3 people that know what's happened.
Yeah,
how are you going to get him out?
I feel like I'm really nitpicking when I'm like, that's the single-hand dumbest thing in this movie. But the rest of the movie's ludicrous too. So I hope.
Yeah, I mean this whole movie. I mean it's a very entertaining movie. Like I was captivated. That's why I didn't take a lot of notes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have my phone out. And I'm actually doing stuff. I think I made like 5 notes and just sat there going, "What is happening? What is happening now?"
Do you think that this movie would have been better if the roles were reversed?
Yeah,
like
if I do.
Nicolas Cage was started out as the FBI agent and John Travolta was the villain, and then Nick Cage gets to be the crazy villain as the FBI agent in the movie.
I think it would have been way more entertaining just because Nick Cage is bonkers.
Right.
I mean, like, that guy can go crazy, but it was kind of satisfying seeing Travolta try and be Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I was disappointed when I realized, we're not going to get full Rage Cage. No, but someone's coming into... She watched this too, and it was her favorite movie.
I mean, of the ones you've made me watch, yeah. For this podcast, yes. I agree with you, though. I think of Nick Cage as not as a criminal.
If Nick Cage slapped your butt and made a weird face, would you hit him or would you be okay with it?
I think knowing Nick Cage, I'd be okay with
it. We're not talking about just a slap, just like a full on grab.
Yeah. This marriage might end. No.
Can one of you do the wee that John Travolta does?
Wee!
Multiple times throughout the movie.
That's exactly like you're saying. John Travolta playing Nicolas Cage, it's like an insult. His thoughts on how Nicolas Cage is supposed to act is a lot of just weird noise.
Yeah.
Just like opens the blinds up and woo! What is this? We paused it and it was, what are we watching right now? Just this weird sound effect of no.
Perfectly cast.
Thank you for that. Wonderful. But I wish I saw more Nick Cage, but I think they did the right thing.
Yeah.
It's more shocking to have Travolta. Hot take, I hate Grease. Grease is the garbage movie.
Grease is the word. I think you've heard.
Yeah,
it's got groove. It's got feeling.
Oh, bird's the word, buddy. Bird is the word. And I like John Travolta though. I think he's a pretty Swordfish. That's a garbage movie, but I don't know. Travolta plays a good villain.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it pans out. Like, yeah, he's the hero, but he plays a better villain than Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Or at least more menacing.
Yeah.
So
they have a meeting in the jail, and basically Castor Troy, as John Travolta, tells him, I'm taking over your life. I've killed everyone that knows what's happened. I'm going to be the great FBI agent.
Preston, what? I mean, sorry.
I don't understand his plan from this point.
Yeah. What is this movie? This villain all of a sudden is like, I'm going to be the greatest FBI agent ever.
Just, I mean, because his brother even mentions, they were going to get $10 million. Just hold, the whole of L.A. hostage, basically, with a bomb and ask for $10 million. What do you gain? Okay, you get your brother out of prison, but what do you gain as being this FBI agent? You just conned yourself into a job, basically.
And even later down the road, he's ticked off because he's like, I want my face back. I want to be me again.
Right.
So
he thinks
why would you care
fun,
about being,
but then he wants his face back.
I don't understand that piece at all.
But eventually Nicolas Cage as Sean Archer gets out of jail. And he realizes, oh no, I'm on an oil rig in the middle of nowhere.
That was
how did you not know that?
Yeah, that was awesome to see. Oh, that's really cool. But yeah, how wouldn't Sean? He should know
because they also even mention when he's in solitary confinement that he's going outside for exercise.
Should have known.
How do you not clock that you're in the middle of the ocean?
Do you know what the name of that prison was, by the way?
No,
Erewhon. And it's a oh gosh. One of my English teachers is going to murder me in my sleep. Acronym or whatever, you flip the anagram for nowhere.
Yeah.
So, hey, they were thinking in this movie at least. They tried.
They did.
Yeah. But also, how does he get from there to the next scene? He just jumps off the thing. He swims, I guess.
That's a good question because
that's
he just
a mile.
Helicopter comes up and starts shooting at him, and he just jumps off the thing, and all of a sudden he's back in Los Angeles.
That was the first time I paused it and just sat there and went, "This can't happen." Which that's embarrassing on my part. Where that's when I really threw the flag of, no one can swim that far.
The movie's got to move along. We got story to tell. Keep it moving.
we got to see John Travolta fondle a small girl at some point. That's his daughter. We need to speed it up to that moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was just hoping that wasn't going to happen. I was like, I know this is a bad guy, but do we really have to, like...
The only thing I had hope, I went, is John Woo, and I knew at this point, there's no way that guy would do this.
Yeah.
I'll breathe a little easy. So
Michael Bay would have.
Michael
Bay stopped an entire movie to talk about some kind of law in Texas that...
Are you saying Michael Bay would have directed that, or he actually would have done it?
He would have both. Both, probably.
That guy. Yeah.
He's
better be careful. Be careful. He's coming for you. Bay strikes hard and fast, man.
He's way too much into young girls.
Yeah. Him and oh man, I'm blanking out now. Leonardo DiCaprio.
DiCaprio's into girls in their 20s.
Yeah, they're legal.
Bay is into
Also, let me just tell you something. How weird! Like two South Carolina guys are over here being like, "Yeah, 20's okay," but we know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be quiet. Which I'll transition from that awfulness for one more fun fact that I did look up. Pollock. Did you like that actor?
Pollock. Which one was Pollock?
Castor's brother. Sorry.
Yeah, he played a pretty deranged. I assume that character was supposed to be deranged, kind of. So
it was supposed to be Mark Wahlberg.
Oh God, they made a good decision.
Yeah, they lost big names, but they really.
Hey, we're gonna get out of prison. Oh,
hey, I'm from Boston. Is that a pretty good? Yeah, welcome to Wahlburgers. The burgers on the wall.
That must have been before Mark Wahlberg was Mark Wahlberg.
I think it was right around when he was really being Mark Wahlberg.
Good.
Yeah.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah, that'd have been iffy.
So, because Sean Archer knows Castor Troy so well, he goes to one of his hangouts, hideouts, whatever.
What was that place? Was that just some guy's house, or was that a clubhouse?
That was where his baby's mama lived with her brother.
Also, I missed the fact that was her brother, and they kiss later.
They do a full on. I don't think it was originally written as her brother, because they do a full on mouth kiss.
Yeah, and I sat there and went, "Whoa, that's crazy!" And then she's like, "That's my brother."
Brother later, because the way they're leaving the police station earlier, because that's one of the people he interrogates earlier and threatens that he's going to put her child in foster care or whatever. Like they leave I think that was written originally as like that's her other lover.
Yeah. So that whole scene too, the original script, he didn't go to a clubhouse. He went to Castor's mom's. And they wanted Jack Nicklaus to play the character of Castor's mom wearing drag.
Jack Nicholson?
Yeah, Nicholson. Sorry, not the golfer. The actual actor. They wanted Jack Nicholson to be.
That's
Castor's
still weird.
mom.
That's still weird.
I went through a wormhole last night going through what?
You did a lot more than I did.
I was just how this movie got made or why. Yeah, I don't get it.
So he does drugs with him.
Oh, and yeah, then you get the title sequence. I'm going to take his face. And I, at that moment, said, this movie does not have enough Nicolas Cage. because that was the most entertaining.
It was.
That whole sequence, man, I was hooked.
That was a hell of a drug, though. Like, whatever they put in his drink.
Oh, and I even love the guys like, no more drugs for him.
Yeah, because like he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and then he just walks into a bedroom, passes out basically on the bed, and then washes his face off, and then like points the gun. He's like obsessed with not seeing himself, like. Because when he first wakes up, he looks at it and he's losing his mind basically throughout this whole movie as Castor Troy.
And that's what I figured, like, that's the whole thing. Like, he's starting to believe he's him or something.
Right.
And I thought they're going to go down that angle. Like, Sean Archer, John Travolta, whatever. Guys, it's so hard to figure out who's who. The replaced Sean Archer is going to start being a good guy because he's in that. And now he's going to be the hero. And then Nick Cage is going to end up being the villain in the end. I didn't think they were going to actually, keep their normal selves. I was waiting for the crisscross, but yeah, never happened.
But what was that? I looked up that actress last night. What was her name?
It's not. It's. You're definitely going to cut this out. She reminds me of the girl from all the Marvel stuff who plays Asha, whatever, from Star Wars.
Gina Gershon. I knew it was somewhat kind of famous.
Yeah.
Gina Gershon. She was in Sin City. Yes.
Yeah, that's where I know her from. But yeah, and she was great, by the way.
She that was a young Gina Gershon, but she confesses to who she thinks is Castor Troy, who is actually Sean Archer, played by Nicolas Cage, previously played by John Travolta. It's so confusing to reference these people.
Can you publish a visual aid for anyone listening to this of a mapping of how things work?
Yeah, they'll figure it out. She basically tells Castor Troy that her son is his. Apparently, Sean Archer, and then he's losing his mind so much that he thinks that's his son Mike that died.
Dude, that was the weird. I mean, I guess he's on drugs still.
Yeah, he's still like he's hungover.
Sequence that's where I started giving up on this movie some. At that point, I went, all right, we got to have something happen because...
And guess what it does? The FBI just unloads on this place.
Oh my
Even though they see unarmed people and a child. They even shoot at a child.
That whole thing, I just mouth open, like, how is this something they did? There's no way this would ever happen.
Even if they're... your boss is telling you to, you're probably like, what? Bro, there's...
Yeah.
I mean, we just looked in here while we're up on this roof across the street. There's just unarmed people. There's a kid, man. What, you want me to open fire on an entire building?
Yeah, but, it does get... Well, I'm trying to think of everything that happens in that whole sequence. Does his brother die in that sequence?
Her brother dies.
Her brother dies. Yeah.
Who was originally written as not her brother.
Her lover dies.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. Like, I guess they're trying to prove how evil the guy is. He just kills all his friends. He doesn't care. But what was supposed to probably be a powerful moment, the lamest thing in the whole movie, you're going to kill yourself through the mirror.
Oh, I thought that was awesome.
It was awesome, but I was just like, this had to be on a preview or something.
They're on like either side of a wall, and there's mirrors on both sides. And they both just all of a sudden just like point their guns at the mirrors. And it's like the faces of the people they really want to kill.
I laughed. So I don't know why it was so funny to me. It was just like, yeah,
it's kind of dumb, but I liked it.
No, the best. That's where I was like, I'm back in on this 100%. Preston,
So,
you picked a good one. I'm just gonna toss it in. Yeah,
it's not what happened. It's not a Pirates movie from last week or the other week.
Oh my god, yeah. Don't even mention that.
We could barely think of stuff to talk about in that one.
Holy cow! But you go from this to quite possibly the most insane thing ever Which, yeah, no, his brother dies there too. Pollock gets killed.
Yes, his brother does die.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's when he goes into rage, and like him as Sean Archer walking in the FBI office after that, and his boss is going nuts because he's on Time magazine. Like, I'm sorry.
Somehow an FBI agent ends up on Time magazine for disarming a bomb. Like, I mean, I'm sure that happens a lot. Like, you know, like an FBI agent does something in the real world where we live, but I mean, they don't end up on Time magazine as person of the year.
I just love that his boss walks in and he's holding his chest, and I'm like, that guy's gonna have a heart attack.
And then he starts coughing for no reason. I was like, well, did he slip him something? What's going on here?
No, it's even better. He's just gonna judo chop him in the chest, put him down. Like
a doctor's not gonna figure that out. Like,
yeah, like cause of death is not gonna be a heart attack.
He died of asphyxiation, my guy. Yeah.
That I don't know why I was like, this movie gets better and better, and there hasn't even been a boat chase at this point yet.
Oh my god, that.
Oh my god.
But anyway, Sean Archer as Castor Troy makes his way to his house, breaks into his old house, and tells his wife, I have A positive. I think what was it? A positive, AB negative blood.
He's AB. No, he's O negative.
O negative.
Castor Troy's 8. Preston, I need mental help. The fact that I remember that of this ridiculous movie, I really need to go seek some help.
First of all, I know you were like chasing him for 6 years. How do you know this man's blood type?
Yeah, that's what freaked me out. Well, not freaked, but like you shouldn't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you have a medical record somewhere, you'd know it. But
I mean, I'd like to think we're pretty good friends, but I don't know your blood type.
Preston, you know what? I'm a great friend of myself. I don't know my own blood type.
The only reason I know that is because I gave blood in college. It's A positive.
I gave blood, and I just do not remember what it is. I don't know. I guess it's like that whole.
But I guess if you're that obsessed with catching somebody, I mean,
yeah. If you're criminally insane of seeking justice, yeah, maybe you would.
Yeah,
but kind of right after that, Sean Archer, that's Castor Troy, in bed with Sean Archer's wife.
Mm-hmm.
What does she stab him with?
Some kind of blood collection thing because she's a doctor.
She just keeps that? Like, there's no way. I was like, man, she took that pen and just
because she never like. I guess I'll cut it a break and say maybe she went to the hospital that day and snagged one from the hospital before she went home that night.
That's true. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. But hey, you know what? That's the most like. It's ridiculous. He shouldn't know that. But I was trying to figure out, like, how is he going to prove who he is? He can do whatever, but it's not believable.
Do a DNA test the whole time. I'm like, do a DNA test.
Same thing, though. Like, do a blood test. I wouldn't think of that. But what a great way to prove 100%. Yeah, this guy's not him.
Compare me to my daughter. She's going to have 50% of my DNA.
Oh, man. I glazed over. No, it hadn't happened yet. Him beating up his daughter's girlfriend or whoever else it was.
That scene I liked. It was like, that was kind of a thing like, okay, he's got some standards. Like, he's not a complete psychopath.
Yeah. And that's where I was like, all right, there's hope. Maybe this will do the right thing. I don't know. But
he's like, if she's into it, okay. But if she's not, get off of her.
I just love the, like, I'm going to give you butterfly knife. I'm going to give you a butterfly knife. You're going to know how to use this. Have you ever played with any of those at all?
Yeah.
You'll cut your finger off, man.
You will.
If you don't know what you're doing.
Because it's fun to flip it around and.
Yeah. You will destroy yourself. So I'm like, oh, good. He just killed that girl because she's going to flip that thing open and just stab herself with it.
Did you have the thing go off in your head like, okay, that's coming into play later?
Oh, yeah. As soon as he gave it to her, I went, that's going in his leg, and she's going to twist it.
That's
100%.
Chekhov's knife.
Yeah.
Instead of gun, it's Chekhov's knife.
No guns, only. Which, funny enough, John Woo, it should have been guns the whole time.
Yeah.
There should be no knife. But, so, this is where I do get blurry. And I think things move quick. FBI guy, his boss is going to have a funeral.
Right.
they hatch a plan of like he has to go to the funeral.
And
so-
she like her husband as Nick Cage tells her to like get the daughter out of town somehow.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can make up an excuse for her, but I'll have to go.
Yep. So what I didn't know from this, does fake Nick Cage, does he tell real Nick Cage's baby's mama the truth? Or does she think that
she still thinks he's Castor Troy all the way up until the moment she dies?
Okay. So that's what I couldn't figure out, because when they have the big John Woo shootout,
or like the Mexican standoff with like 7 people.
I was hoping more people would keep showing up.
I got so confused with
what
who was pointing guns at who.
All I know is the guy that's in Gladiator, the guy, and I know this is terrible for a podcast because you'll see it. He's got the scars like this.
Yes, that guy. He was in Sons of Anarchy and a bunch of stuff.
That's what else he's in. I knew Gladiator, Sons of Anarchy is what I was forgetting. He pops in, and it's just like, I forgot whose side he's on.
I still have the IMDb up, but he's not in the top cast. Stand by. I know this makes for great podcast.
I want you to leave this in.
I will. Oh, shoot.
I know we're not at the end of this, but you know that there's supposed to be a sequel to this being developed, right?
I read that somewhere.
I don't know how.
I don't know that actor's name, but because I'm not.
It's Tommy Flanagan.
That sounds right.
Yeah, Tommy Flanagan, because he played. He's a Scottish guy.
Yeah,
he's in Braveheart. I mean, I sound like I'm just racist.
That's known as a what he's got is known as a Glasgow smile. He got that as a kid in Glasgow, in Scotland, with somebody cut his face up with a knife.
But I mean, it's crazy there. I saw him and I went, oh, he's like, there's so many people in this movie that I went, oh shoot, they're in this. Holy cow.
And like, it was like at the beginning of their career, basically.
Yeah. I think Thomas Jane's in this somewhere.
Because the wife plays Pamela Landy in the Bourne series.
That's where she is.
Yeah.
Oh man, I couldn't put those together. I was like, I know she's in something else, but I can't figure out.
That's why I love going back to these older movies, seeing all these actors where they in other roles, like either at the beginning or like kind of in the middle of their career.
If anybody's in this movie, this made their career. I'm just gonna call it, like, except Margaret Cho.
Is that who that was?
Yeah, that's Margaret Cho, and I don't know. She's all right.
Yeah. She's married to Maury, isn't she? Or is that somebody else?
Yeah, I think she is.
Okay. So she did good.
Winner, chicken dinner. Side note, too, I actually pulled my notes up more. Pulled my notes up. Johnny Depp was also in contention to be Sean Archer.
I believe it.
And I think that'd have been all right. I think that'd work. Yeah, Johnny Depp, Nick Cage. Give me that movie today. So they go to the funeral. Mm-hmm. What a weird message calling card. And that's exactly when I was like, yeah, 100% John Woo. You said it earlier. Doves everywhere.
This is the first time we've had doves. And he's like, you know what? I haven't had doves yet. So I'm going to put them all in this scene. We've had plenty of 2 pistols. We had 2 pistols at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't pick up on that then and I should have, but no, the doves. Yeah. Sends a picture of his kid to the guy that killed him.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
I was like, okay, this is getting real.
That is an awesome way to let you know, hey, I'm here and I'm coming to kill you.
And whatever I'm not very good with Catholicism and their proper namings. The choir boy or...
Yeah, he's an altar boy.
Altar boy, thank you. Yeah, walks up. Someone in the back gave this and said it's yours.
And he's got it in his hands, like in his pray hands. And I'm like,
what is
happening? I'm just a Southern Baptist, but like, I mean, you can carry that a different way.
Put it in your pocket, kid. Like, no. But I just love it. Like anyone that's around him, if they saw he got a picture of his kid and he crumbles it up, and you don't think they're going to be concerned or...
Well, she knows he's not her husband at this point. So I mean,
you get gunfight of the century.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everyone gets shot. Everything,
And the destruction of guns in this movie is so unrealistic.
It's fantastic. I mean, it is like 90s to the core.
It's like every round is an explosive bullet from like Call of Duty or something.
And every single urn or plate has gasoline in it.
Oh, yeah.
Magically will catch, yeah. But, just like, but you know what I do like? One thing that made me happy, Castor Troy's baby's mama gives her the signal, like, I don't know fully how
she saves the wife because she somehow interprets through the eyes of everyone that Castor Troy is trying to save this woman from this evil dude. So she like ducks her down, takes a shot at some people, and everybody starts firing off. And Nick Cage does the thing where he crosses the pistols across his chest, takes out two guys somehow without even looking.
Let me not be cocky. I've shot guns like that before. You can't hit crap. There is no way. And not only that, but the guns they have, the recoil from it.
John Wick couldn't even do that, dude.
No. And
he wouldn't even do that. He knows he's not going to hit anybody like that.
John Wick uses proper gun control when he shoots his firearms.
You daggum. The only reason my dad likes any of those movies is because John Wick reloads.
That's my... Thank you. Your dad rules, because my next comment was going to say, where did all this ammunition come from?
Exactly.
I counted. One of those pistols shot like 93 rounds.
Yeah.
That's
a hobby of mine in movies, because I know that at least this pistol holds like 7 or 8 rounds. So I give you 8 shots when you have a pistol, 6 or 5 when you have a revolver, depending on it.
Yeah, and I'd give you, like, you could have an extended round, but I mean, extended clip, but you're going to see it. Those weren't extended.
Those are going to stick out.
Which... I don't know. Maybe you watch a movie, you don't want to see people reload guns, but that was the first time in this movie where I went, yeah, this thing's bogus.
But I'll kind of add this into the Mission Impossible of those movies. Like, it's a hyper reality.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Nice
different
segue
from ours.
Mission Impossible 2, John Woo.
That might be our next one then, because we'll just stay on the John Woo train, because that's a dumpster fire of a movie.
I won't say anything. I was going to... No, you know what? No. We're about to get into it, and I don't want to say it too quick, but the boat fighting scene in this and the motorcycle scene in Mission Impossible 2 where they face off each other.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Same thing. I mean, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah. But we have to get to the stab and twist.
The stab and twist. I love that the girl shoots her dad.
The daughter shows... they bring the daughter to the Mexican standoff. And they have the shootout, and of course it's Castor Troy and Sean Archer left, and the wife. That's all that's left. So he grabs the girl. The girl like runs in there. He grabs the girl, thinking, and she thinks that's her dad. And then she realizes, oh no, he's got a gun to my head. It's not my dad.
That Logan made a comment, and I agreed with it. She said, "There's no era like these movies in the '90s that don't have this weird slowdown effect."
Yeah.
Like cheap slow motion. But as soon as he holds her, she goes to grab that butterfly knife. It's just like, this is the worst movie now.
And dude, I was, normally I'm laying down on the couch watching these movies. I sat up at that moment. And when she did that, I screamed, "The stab and twist!"
And I'm going to tell you, I mean, like I've never been stabbed. No way that dude's walking after that.
Hey, no
way. Or driving a boat.
He even made a point of saying, like, if you stab and twist, it keeps the wound from closing up and it stays open. But throughout that whole sequence, he's sprinting across a pier.
Gosh.
He's
Dude,
on a boat.
Oh, one of my favorite sequences, and I'm going to sound sadistic for saying this. He goes to steal the boat from that guy, and the guy says, "Have it." He just takes that Uzi and goes, "Brrr."
Yeah,
there was
I'm gonna
no
shoot
point.
you anyway. I don't care.
He's jumping off the boat, man. But there's a movie. I'll send you the clip of it called Bullet Storm. I think it's a Gary Busey movie. And at that point, I went, "This is Gary Busey. This is it right here."
Gary Busey.
Man.
He would have been a good choice for Castor Troy.
I would have loved to see that because someone else would have had to try and be like him.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
So after that, it ends in the like I texted you last night. The boat chase was unnecessary.
Oh, what? Yeah. The movie should have ended at that chapel. Like, that would have been even better. It would have been a good ending, honestly. But no, we're going to have this crazy boat
like a
sequence.
15 or 20 minute boat chase.
I seriously was going like, when's this going to end? Like,
Yeah.
there's no way this is going to take this much more time. But no, it does. And when that final boat crashes and it's flying in the air, that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
It's like they're just constantly knocking each other. And then it's like, it's just all cranked up to 10 and it just doesn't feel like it's going to stop.
Oh, well, it'll stop when that spear gun finally gets unlocked, which was the weirdest. Takes a spear gun, stabs him with it first.
Yeah.
I mean, you just flip that sucker. You're like, not where it lost me, because I didn't get lost in this thing, but I was just baffled.
It feels like it's like we need a finale for this movie. What are we gonna do? I mean, what are we gonna do?
And then he starts cutting his face to, like,
he's
maybe
like, when you see me I'm gonna be the face you see in the mirror, and he starts cutting his face as John Travolta. I was like, okay, like, I guess he thinks that he's gonna have his face as Nicolas Cage the rest of his life.
No, don't you understand? There's movie magic. We'll solve this. The only people that could do this transaction, this surgery,
they died apparently.
But we know somebody else.
Oh yeah, but we know some doctors in DC that we can bring down.
They got some creepy machines in DC. You'll love it.
I'm like, yeah, that's my last note. Is like, I thought there was only one surgeon that could do this.
Yeah,
and again shows up to his house with no scars. But
my second last note was, so you guys kind of kidnapped a kid then, right?
Well, no, she tells him when she dies to take care of my kid, and he probably did some adoption stuff. He's in the FBI, which is crazy that he gets to keep his job at the FBI, even if he's like killed so many people as Castor Troy. Like, everybody's just like okay with this procedure that, wait, we can swap people's faces.
What a great movie. What a ridiculous concept.
I mean, it just wrapped up way too quick because everybody was like just okay. Like, oh, Sean Archer, what did you say? He called you Archer. And then his voice comes back. Like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, I wanted to see more of like, all right, how does this guy should get back this? Because there's no way that it kept that. I mean, I guess he did his job of, he changed his face for a career, which problems itself. I think I'd fire the guy that would agree to that.
Suggested that. Like, who?
Also, I love the thought of Sean Archer shows up, doesn't tell his wife that he brought this little boy with him, and it's like, we're gonna take care of him now. Wink.
This is his home. Show him to his room.
Dude, that wife would be freaking out. I mean, she'd be like, love it.
I get they need to wrap up the movie, and it's kind of like a replacement for their son, which is kind of weird, but
all in all, though,
it's a very entertaining movie. I know we dumped on it the last 10 minutes, but
I've never seen Con Air either.
I haven't either. So
and like, people tell me it's Con Air, Face Off, The Rock.
Oh, The Rock is amazing.
I've never seen it.
Oh my gosh, you have to watch that.
Yeah, so I need to, like, my Nick Cage solid movies, I really need to watch more. I've never seen Vampire's Kiss either.
I haven't seen that. I've heard of that.
Clips. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that's Nick Cage at his Nick Cageiest.
At his Nick Cageiest?
Yeah, there's a scene where he does he's talking to a secretary, and she filed a file in the wrong spot, and he goes through the entire alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F. Like, it.
Oh, is that the one where he's like in the conference room and like standing up. It was like, I don't know.
Yep. Oh, Nick Cage.
And Wicker Man is the one where he gets the bees and the
bees.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? I will make fun of Nick Cage so hard because he's ridiculous. I think he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Him and Spider-Man Under the Spider-Verse was incredible. The guy knows how to make fun of himself.
My favorite story out of that is Jake Johnson said that he wanted to record the lines with Nicolas Cage. He's like, I'm willing to like pay my own money to fly to his house and record with him in his house. But they said no.
Yeah. If someone was like, hey, you're going to be an actor now, I think that's the guy that I'd like, I want to do a movie with him just to understand.
Because he's saying he's saying yes to everything nowadays.
Taxes, man. Taxes are eating him, I think.
He like just did that movie with the truffle pig or the pig.
Yeah. Didn't watch it. Probably not going to.
I'm not going to watch it. It seems weird, but
I just looked it up. This was a very successful movie. $80 million budget, $245 million box office.
It was rated pretty high too. I looked that up later on when we decided to do it. I was like, oh, it was actually rated pretty high. I'm surprised.
I mean, the number of people that, you kind of make fun of parts of this movie, but it's pretty good. I mean, I'm sitting here going like, I need to rewatch a couple of Chris Nolan's movies, and they're not the same thing. You know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
So
what would you rate this out of from a 1 to 10?
I give it an 8, man.
I'd do this. It's an 8, solid 8, dude.
Honestly, like I was entertained. The stuff that was ridiculous, I didn't care.
If you want a really fun action movie to watch one afternoon or whenever.
Yeah. And I think if Nicolas Cage is in it, you know what you're going to watch some.
Yeah.
Like you know exactly the hijinks or bullcrap that you're going to have to be okay with. But
so that's solid 8. That's the end of Face Off and the end of this episode.
Face it off.
Face off. Get your face off of me.
Oh.
Jake, thanks for coming back again. And,
honestly, this one I'm okay with. I'm actually thankful to come back because this was rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not pirates. It was more theological or not theological, but philosophical Matrix.
Yeah. So if you want to reach the show on social media, you can do that at Second Take Movies. If you have a suggestion for an episode, you can send that to secondtakemoviespod@gmail.com, and I will see you probably next week. We'll see.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.